We always knew we wanted to finish the story of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You know, it was such a big cliffhanger at the end of Winter Soldier. We never didn't expect to finish off that tale, and it just happened that Civil War really dovetailed kind of nicely into what we were already thinking. So it sort of just grew in scope, but it didn't really change in intent.
And how did you decide which characters were going to go on what team that weren't prominently featured in the original comic?
Right. We talked a lot about what would make sense logically, right? So you've sort of seen the other films. Some characters you met for the first time in Age of Ultron. Some have been around as long as Iron Man 1. And it's really about giving them a point of view that didn't feel like it was disingenuous to their character. And I think sometimes that ended up with characters that we didn't expect to be on certain sides, like Black Widow teaming with Iron Man. I think was unexpected even for us, but as we talked about it from a storytelling point of view, it really made sense because I think Black Widow is more pragmatic than we give her credit for, and sometimes she's looking at the solution from a different angle than Tony Stark, who's very emotional. And even though they don't react to the same things in the same way, the conclusion that they came to ended up being the same. So it really was talking each character through like that to figure out who would end up where.
I love that. And then my final question, is I have to wrap it up now, is did you have any problems getting any of the actors back, any scheduling conflicts?
It's always a challenge when you have a cast of this size scheduling-wise, but the good news is everybody really wanted to be a part of the movie, so they really bent over backwards to really help us make it work, and I think it shows on screen. The Avengers versus Avengers fight is the most ambitious thing we've ever filmed, and it required everybody to participate, and I think it really, the sequence is better for having everybody there.
And what do you think is going to surprise audiences the most?
You know, I think people, even though it's called Civil War, aren't going to expect the amount of Bucky storytelling that we have left to do. So I think we take that relationship between him and Cap in a really interesting place.